Raghunath, are you ready for this?
What?
The Wisdom of the Sages trainings that are going on.
Where?
At the Eco Village, the Govardhan Eco Village in India.
Why?
To totally transform your life spiritually.
Who?
You, me, Raghunath Swami's going to be there. Other great teachers are going to be there. Lots of cool people.
How?
You go to wisdomofthesages.com/events. You find all the information there.
Haribo.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
From Alachua, Florida. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Stupidas. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Welcome to Black Friday.
Oh, sounds dark.
It can get dark. It can get
why
dark.
I suppose there's a reason why they call it Black Friday.
Mara, tell him.
In the 1950s, police in the city of Philadelphia used the term to describe the chaos that ensued on the day after Thanksgiving, when hordes of suburban shoppers and tourists flooded into the city in advance of the big Army-Navy football game held on that Saturday every year.
Wait, what? Not shopping?
Yeah, they came to go shopping.
Oh, okay. So the thing is,
But
I think
they were,
just,
yeah,
sort of
shoplifters took advantage.
Okay, people have a day off after Thanksgiving. And now they're thinking to the next holiday. So it just naturally became a big shopping day. So Europeans, you don't even have this. You don't know what you're missing out on. No, just joking. But there's just like a lot of sales. And people
They
quiet.
also say that like the stores were in the red, like they had lost money. And then on this Friday, they went into the black because they sold some.
I
in
get
that
it. In
sense.
the black.
Yeah.
It's a good black. Sometimes they use black for negative things. It's a positive black, not in the red. Right. Okay. This is a good time to enter shelter lyrics. Consumer, perhaps, Kostuba?
I'm not familiar, but I'm sure.
Magazines fill the aisles for hobbies, clothes, and styles, selling us more all the while. Commercials tell us what to acquire, planting seeds of desire, pouring oil on the fire. The consumer always pays the fee with great hope and anxiety, but they're always left wanting more. We're all hungry, that's agreed, but we don't know what we need. You see, there's something more than just the body to feed. Advertisers create false necessities, sending us out on shopping sprees. Just one more thing, that's all you'll need. And sex sells, billboards rely on it. Any product with a woman trying it, are you laughing or are you buying it? Consumer.
Well done, Raghunath. Well done.
Thank you. A little golf clap by Kostuba. I appreciate that.
Okay, so you had a nice day yesterday, Raghunath?
We had an
I just want to hear a little bit about it.
Day yesterday. You know, it was other day. I met tons of others out there. And just sort of went to different parties, devotee parties at their homes. It was like a double Thanksgiving.
That's nice.
And today, I think it was very low key at the temple yesterday, and tomorrow. Oh, I ended the evening last night with Kirtan with Gauravani.
Where?
At Radhikesh's house.
How many people were there?
It was small. It was super small, like 20 people.
Okay, well, that's not totally small. And then, but earlier in the day, you were over at Vera's place? I saw some videos from there.
And Diana and got to hang with Jaigiri Hari and Henry, and it was fun.
And you forgot.
Christina Om Namo Shabaya was there.
And you forgot to deliver my message.
Bhakti Lata was there.
And you forgot to deliver my message.
Well, let me explain the message you wanted me to deliver. You said you wanted me to say, Hare Krishna, offer my love to you from Kostuba. I didn't say any of that.
I know.
What I did say was, is there stuffing for the tofurkey? Okay. And I hope that sort of means the same thing.
Apparently it did, because she wrote me, she sent me a text. Shama sent me a text. So I asked you yesterday, I think it was on the show, if people were listening to yesterday's show, where I said, okay, you know, when you were in Govardhan, I asked you to go, you know, to Krishnadas Kaviraja Samadhi and say this prayer, and you kind of
Yes.
sort of did it.
Sort of, yeah.
And so I said, now this time I want you to do it. You're going over there. You're seeing these friends who I haven't seen in a long time.
Good
Please
friends.
offer my love to Vera and Dhyana and Shama and Jai Giridhari and Mulika. Offer them my love. Let them know I'm thinking
what I
about
did do? I was like, hey, everybody. That's it.
Okay. But then I got this text like late in the afternoon from Shama saying, "Oh, Kastuba, thank you." You know, I forget what she said, but she's like, "Oh, thank you for sending your love via Rogu. We miss you. When you're gonna come?" And I was like, and then I sent back a message to her, and it said, "Oh, he remembered," and I put a smiley face, and she like put a heart on that thing. But actually, you never
remember. I didn't remember whatsoever.
So someone,
maybe she just thinks of me, and then she thinks, "Oh, Kastuba."
I don't think so.
Here.
I think she just, I think someone that was listening to the show must have said it.
Okay.
And then
she did give me
and
credit.
even when I wrote back, she just covered for you. She just covered for you, Roger.
You know what? Maybe she just covered for me. Good job. That's a good wife, covering for your friends of yours and your husband. Yes.
So you know, but you know what I was thinking, Raghunath, is you must have had a wonderful time yesterday, because I saw a video of what was going on over there. Veers, just lots of beautiful people sharing food, sharing their hearts with each other.
I was the ugliest
sharing music
of the people. Yes,
sharing music. You know, there's a culture, and it's a culture that has the shared values. You know, we're all in this together. We all want to become better people. We all want to practice this sincerely.
Functional Thanksgiving. That's what it was.
Functional
Thanksgiving.
In what sense?
As far as the dysfunctional Thanksgiving, where you go home, you get in a fight with your older brother, you know, haven't seen him in 10 years. And it breaks off at the dinner table.
Because you know what I was thinking right now is, I saw this podcast, Rich Roll podcast. All right.
Yeah. Well,
he had a guest on who knew all about like social media.
Okay.
That was their field. They wrote a book on social media, how it works.
Okay.
And the point that they made is that it's not even like necessarily these people are like dastardly, like that eternal. But the way that the whole thing is set up, it ends up being dastardly. It's like, because the point is you want to get as much traffic as possible.
Right.
And so you build algorithms with that goal in mind.
Yeah.
And the fact is that like if you see like two things to click on, and one is just like very balanced and accurate and sober. Today this is what happened in the world. Blah blah blah. Right. You're not so likely to click on it. But if something says we are all being cheated by horrible people, then everyone clicks on that.
Right.
And so we
have this sick curiosity.
Yeah, so
we'll go right towards the stool. Well, instead of going for the honey, we're like the fly that goes right for the dung.
I mean, it's not even like the point is that things that are more bombastic or things that are just said with more intensity, get promoted, and these are the things that we're reading. So it used to be we got our news from Walter Cronkite, and it was relatively, regardless of how perfectly accurate it was.
You love Walter Cronkite.
It was relatively sober,
It wasn't sensationalistic. It was
exactly. And now you're
gonna find it all on the same news channels. They're all reading from the AP feed that's coming out.
And maybe one person you just like their style, or they're more thorough in how they cover it or something like that. But now we're getting all of our information fed through these algorithms, so we're wondering why we're getting so polarized, right? It's just like everything that you read is just like, here's my point, is that if I look at my own, this own kind of spiritual institution, so on, so to say, that I've been relating with for decades now. If I look at it online, sometimes I look and I say, my God, what a mess. It's just like, it's like, oh my God, that person's a total fanatic and this is how they're presenting it. And this person is like corrupt. And this person is,
it's the same thing.
Totally can't relate to.
I get where you're going now.
Yeah.
I get where it was a long roundabout
I'm getting there.
Scenic route to get to a very important point.
Yeah.
Which was even in our spiritual community, it's like if you're just like dip into it a little, you hear all these sensational things, and generally they're the smelly things. They're not the things that are perfumed, but they're just like yesterday hanging out with Henry and Vera, and then with Roddy Cage and all these people. It was just like sweet relationships. That's actually at the core. That's why we're actually showing up at this show. There's many more sweet stories. Just like you hear all these
There
things.
you go.
The cops did this. We got to defund the cops. The cops are horrible. You know how many nice, honest cops there are that go to work every day? There's lots of them also. You don't hear the good stories. You just hear the bad, and then you tag on the bad. And this is how we develop hate.
Yeah.
We just accentuate and exclamation points behind the bad things, and then we just lump everybody in with that bad news. There's so many sweet devotees out there, and it's very, very important to just focus on that good.
And you have to get together to get, kind of like counter the algorithms, right? It's like we need personal interaction with each other.
Write that down, Mara. Counter the algorithms.
Counter the algorithm through personal contact, heart to heart, person to person contact. Like when I saw the video of what was going on, Vera is a friend of ours. He used to be the executive director at the Bhakti Center, and he and his wife Diana and her sister Shama and Vera's friend, Shama's husband, there's the two couples.
Jagiridari. Two couples.
They were those two couples. They lived in the Bhakti Center, and for a good chunk of years, they were really essential to all the dealings there, and so they're close friends. And then now they've all moved down to Florida to be part of this big devotional community. And you can see, okay, Thanksgiving comes, and they got a backyard full of, like, I don't know how many people were there, like 40 people or something like that.
More.
Yeah, like 50, 60 people, something.
Yeah.
And so I look at those people, and I know them all, and I know they're all good people, and I know they're all doing nice things in the world and doing their best to become better people and practice this sincerely. And that's what this movement really consists of.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. Not to say that there's not corruption or that there's not fanatics. They're definitely out there, but you get an unbalanced view through the internet because of the algorithms. That's my point.
Me and Henry got to serve out, right, Henry? Yes.
I saw that. I saw you serving out.
You saw us? Oh,
yeah.
How did you see us?
I'm telling you, I saw a video. It's like,
oh, okay,
on social media.
I was ready to eat, and Henry grabbed me by the arm. He goes, "You know what? It's a special event. Let's serve."
We're
I
serving
said, "You know what,
out.
Henry? Yes, I will.
Yes,
I will serve out."
There you go. All right, I just wanted to share that, and it just struck me seeing those videos.
Another important thing, Kostuba, is there has to, and I wanted to say this too, because even if things look like they're falling apart within your spiritual community, we have to get to a point of so much deep taste and faith. Faith doesn't, it's not just faith, because we're not a movement based on faith. We're a movement based on experience. Like that. Right.
Well, yeah, the faith should mature right into experience.
To experience. So, and when we have that experience, we got to keep that experience fresh, because you know how sometimes you have like that was a crazy miracle, and then all of a sudden
you forgot
all
about
it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You gotta. That's why if you get a good dream, you got to write it down too.
Okay.
But anyway, that's another squirrel. My point is, when you have these like deep realizations, faith building moments, you got to write it down, remember it, because they fade. And you got to keep your spiritual life alive, so those real moments happen on a regular basis. And you have to be ready that if everything goes south, everything goes postal, like your entire movement falls to the ground and you've lost all faith in everything, you will not lose faith in the holy name.
That's a good point.
And Krishna. And this is important. I find it's really important, because when you're part of a spiritual society, like in New York City, I was just having a talk with a nice devotee who's traveling with me, who prefers to stay anonymous. But he was saying, like, I'm thinking about staying in New York or staying upstate, and we're going back and forth. I said, in New York, it's so good because there's such a strong community, but I will say that, like, when you live away from the devotees, you have an opportunity to really dig in deep. Like, you have to choose. I want to be a devotee of Lord Krishna, even if nobody else is. I want to do that. And that's harder to do, but because you have almost no support, you have to just like choose it. Whereas sometimes there's so many devotees around in these cities or in communities that you just sort of get swept up. There's a program tonight. There's a thing, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to be convinced that if everybody I'm the only person on the planet, I'm going to still I'm gonna still
scenarios you've come up with in your mind. How
just
did that
everything's
happen?
desolate. There's an apocalypse. I was somehow like in my basement. I came back up and everybody's not
You
here.
came
any
up with
longer.
your rifle and you're fighting off hordes of
Yeah.
zombies.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway, we have to become convinced. You
Yeah.
know what? I remember the day that happened for me in real life because I was one of these guys who I remember my first Harinam. That's when you go chanting in the streets with the devotees. Now I did it in India. It wasn't a big deal, but when I had to do it in New York, it was like, oh my God, I know people everywhere. This is weird. I'm walking around in a dhoti and I got my little hamburger sikha on my head, and I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I stayed in the back. I tried to wear like jeans that day. It was really, and it was like sort of like too much of my ego. Then I got to a certain point where like, no, it took about 3 years, but I was like, no, I'm a devotee of Lord Krishna. This is, and to prove it to myself, I did a private Harinam up Broadway for 30 blocks. I took cartels and I just danced through the streets of New York City alone.
That must have been nice, actually.
It was great. It was one of the greatest things I've ever done. Just dancing through the streets.
This is who I am,
I'm
world.
living a music video. This is who I am.
But you know, I'll tell you something. Here's a potential postulate. Okay.
Tell me.
When you're alone, well, we have to think of how we want to phrase it. But the essence of it is that when you're alone, you're most not alone. Like in other words, when you're alone, that's when you really have the opportunity to be with Krishna sometimes, right? In other words, you go within, right? That's when you open up your conversation within sometimes. So I could imagine that just grabbing a pair of cartels, a little pair of cymbals, and just wandering through New York singing Krishna's names, you were closer to Krishna than you may have been in so many other circumstances.
Yeah, my best kirtans are probably alone. Now that's a great point. My best kirtans have probably been alone, just walking through the street,
most sincere,
walking through Vrindavan, walking around Govardhan Hill alone, just chanting.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we need a little bit of that. Our process, our path, is very much a communal path. No doubt.
Yeah. We're eating together. We're joking together. We're singing together.
Yeah. Uplifting
eating each
one
other,
another.
Glove jummins, laughing,
Enlightening
holding
one
each other by
another.
the wrists, spinning around, laughing more,
Okay.
rolling down a hill, hitting each other with hay.
Okay. I don't remember any of that in the Bhagavad Gita, but I do remember that they are enlightening one another and speaking about Krishna together. That part, I think,
Blowing
is
dandelions in each other's face.
Okay. But at the same time, this solitude, the sense of solitude, some time alone is not. It can become the time where you really begin to open up that conversation with God in the heart.
You
Even if it's
remember,
like
I love this statement, opening up the conversation with
open
God
up
in
the
the
conversation. Yeah.
Heart.
Let's have a talk.
That was that instructions that Ranaswamy gave me. Remember, he goes, "I want
did
you
he
to
say?
spend
Oh yeah, in the woods.
time alone,
Mm-mm.
walking in the woods, and just thinking about life."
Okay. Is that what he said? Like that?
Yeah.
Just thinking about life? Is that what he said?
Well, yeah. He said, take the holy name very seriously.
Okay.
Walk in the woods alone,
Okay.
and just think about, think about life.
Krishna?
Think about
Did he say?
no, just life.
If we were going to
Just
say
like
MMA, animals attacking one another, children murderers.
No, he wanted me to like
Serial
contemplate like existence.
Right. Yeah. Existential
realization.
kind of thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been doing that, Raghunath?
Yeah, I mean, he told me that like 2.5 years ago. That's my go-to place for God is alone. I go alone in the woods and I scream to Krishna. I don't even talk to Krishna. I scream, Krishna.
It's not a conversation.
It's not a conversation. I'm yelling at Krishna, but he's yelling back.
Is he?
Could be an echo, or it could be Krishna
Maybe
talking
that
to
was
me.
the echo. Hey you! Hey you! He's talking to me. God is talking to me.
No, but it's a time I really get to bear myself.
Good, Raghunath.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Chapu's saying that Satchidananda Maharaj told her, learn and enjoy being alone with Krishna.
Okay.
So we got both. You know, we
I'm
have
just
our
going to do this
kirtan
podcast
and we have our
alone
chapa.
tomorrow. Everybody's in the waiting room. No one will let them in. I'm like, goodbye, Mara.
I'm with
Click.
God. I'm podcasting with God.
Oh, Krishna.
Okay, Rogan, you ready? Did you eat
Yeah.
too much yesterday? How was your?
You know what? I did eat a lot, but I felt good about it.
Okay.
It was one of the. It was like I'm gonna eat. I didn't eat a lot at the first one. I skipped all dessert at the first one.
At the first one.
And then and then I had a second one, and I ate a lot. And you know what? But I felt okay. And you know what?
Yeah,
I
you do it that one
danced.
day.
I danced unabashed, like no one was watching. I just
Like you're
but
alone
everybody,
with God.
but everybody was.
In horror.
I danced, and it became like it. You know what's beautiful? I was thinking about that. I was dancing with a bunch of other older men.
Okay.
You know, just a bunch of older men. Some
Bunch
men,
of old men
than-
dancing.
bunch of old men dancing.
Nobody wants
and-
to see old
and
men
s-
dance, right? But they
well,
should
and
dance
some
too.
young men dancing. But the point was like, and we were in someone's home, and it was just sort of like spontaneously, a bunch of men got up. Where do you find that? Where do you find a bunch of sober men dancing together in a silly way? It's like we got the monopoly on sober men dancing silly.
Okay. Simultaneously sober and silly.
Right, because usually if a man's dancing, they're drunk.
Hmm.
We have sober men dancing silly with other men. We're not even dancing with any women. If you dance with women, everyone's looking like, why you dance with the women? The women are doing their own thing. They don't want you dancing in their
The
party.
women dance better, I have found in our
The women
society.
dance. They're a little bit more choreographed. It's like they've worked on it.
I wish
The
the
men are
men would
just
dance
like-
a little bit more like that, you know?
Well, the men can't. You know what I was thinking? Like, you know, people learn Sanskrit. I should learn dance.
Well, it's simple. It's not the most complicated thing in the world. It's a little back and forth, but do it in a bit of a choreographed way.
No. I'm talking not like the Hare Krishna shuffle everybody does. I'm talking about
What are
like
you talking about?
literally learn some type of dance that it's like an offering. You know what I mean?
I don't know if maybe a
I'm
little
serious.
too late.
If cooking for Krishna is a thing, and
What are you
that's part
talking
of your
about, like
offering,
Bharatanatyam or
dancing's
something?
such a big thing.
Like Bharatanatyam or Odissi? Is that what you want to learn?
I don't know. Some type of beautiful
Okay, it's never too late,
dance.
Raghunath. If Krishna in the heart is telling you that, then I encourage you to learn the arts of classical Indian dance and
Mara
make an
should
offering of
dance
it.
more. Mara doesn't dance that much. Have you noticed that about Mara?
I hadn't noticed.
You have not noticed?
No.
Mara, I think you would be good with a good dance class.
Okay.
All right.
She's like, can't I just cook? She's like, you're like the last one up when everyone's dancing and Mara's like still sitting, like singing in the kitchen. She needs to get like lifted. Okay, time to dance, Mara.
But if we look at the descriptions of in the Chaitanya Charitamrita of the dance, it was like there's a lead dancer actually, and everyone would kind of follow. You know, like that's how we please.
Well, you know what?
Krishna
Once
through
I
the
was
dance.
at Govardhan Hill and Ramesh Baba was giving class. He's just, you know, this famous bridge bossy.
Oh, the spinning, right? This.
No, not that. Listen,
Okay.
I'm trying to finish my story, sir.
I
Squirrel
thought I was
thief.
catching on. I was gonna let you tell the story, but I just want to see if I.
The
I was
squirrel
with you.
thief, you squirrel wrangler.
Go ahead.
No, anyway, he started giving class. I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden he just broke into his song in the
Oh,
middle
yeah.
of class, and all of his people started standing up and did the most eloquent dancing. I was like, oh my God, this is what it must be like when Lord Chaitanya dances. They were just dancing so beautifully and delicately. I was like,
Yeah.
I've never seen people
it's kind of
dance like this.
that. Yeah,
And a bunch of men, but look in very
they were in touch with
delicate,
their
delicate
feminines. They
men,
were in
not just
tou-
like, you know, how I dance and go crazy and flap my wings and lift my knees up high. Not like that, like delicate.
Okay.
And I was like, I need to learn this art.
Yeah, a bit
I think this
refined.
could be a thing for me as I'm getting older too, you know. I need to learn more delicate arts. Why do I want to learn striking and elbows and spinning back fists? I want to learn stuff like I need to learn Tai Chi or delicate dancing.
Okay, well, we can get you in a ballet class if you want. Is anyone upstate there?
Bobby Marchand, she's a ballerina.
That's right.
You could probably do ballet with Frankie. I think Frankie takes ballet classes.
There you go. We'll get you.
I got news for you, Mara. You're on the dance list too.
Maybe we could both do ballet with Frankie, the other 5-year-olds.
You know, truthfully, there's a lot of dances out there. Like Hawaiian is a very beautiful dance.
Is that what it's called? Hawaiian?
Oh,
Hula dancing? What are you talking about?
Hula dancing? I don't know. Have you ever seen them dance? Anyway, we are squirreling away.
Yeah, let's get into the Bhagavatam here.
Okay. Well, this is all the Bhagavatam. I'm talking about dancing for the Lord.
I know.
That's important stuff. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasa, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Mudatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Oh, I told a bunch of Tamal Krishna Maharaj stories yesterday at the dinner table.
You had him rolling, huh?
Had him rolling. Yeah. I'm Premanjali, Radhikesh's wife, who I love. She was like, their whole family listens to the podcast. And they were like, oh my God, you got chastised that. I could never take that. I was like, yeah, I don't know how we took it. We just took it.
It was heavy.
I couldn't. He was like, wow, that happened to you? I was like, oh, I got a million of them. I got chastised every day. Devastating chastisement, shaking up a 22-year-old's ego. It was definitively needed. I was like, you don't need it. You don't need it. I needed it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes. All right. So, Mara, where are we?
Reading from Canto 4, Chapter 29, Text 46.
Okay.
There's a lot of Indian classical dances.
I think there's about like 6 classical ones.
Mohini Attam, Odisha, Bharatanatyam that gets all the popularity.
Kathak.
I think we're missing one.
What's your favorite?
So I like Mohini Attam.
Get out of here. You're just saying that.
Serious. Look up the classical Indian dances, Mara. Just Pete's sake. Okay. All right. We're on 46.
Yeah, we have Narada talking to King Prachini Barhishat, and now he's getting real direct. You know, he's told the allegories. Now he's just saying it straight. You're dabbling. You've become totally absorbed in the fruitive religious ritualistic side of things, right? This whole Vedic teaching, it's going to give you the ritualistic religious stuff. It's going to give you the metaphysical stuff. It's going to give you ultimately the devotional stuff, the love stuff. And he's saying you're all caught up in this ritualistic stuff, and you're wondering why you have fear and you're suffering. That was just a stepping stone to get somewhere else. You got stuck in Scranton. Right, you're moving to California. You got to go through Scranton. Nothing, dear
you like the Scranton analogy. I'm glad
you've used
taking
it.
my analogy and running with it.
Yeah,
Good for you,
dear Scrantonians. Please do not be offended.
Yeah,
but yeah, you got to keep you. That's something you're meant to move. If you are a downright dirty dog, right? If you're a person that's got, okay, check me too. If you don't care about other people, you're totally selfish. You have no gratitude toward, just like yesterday was Thanksgiving, right? It's like society creates a day where like you're supposed to get it through your head to give thanks to God, right? At the end of the harvest season, right? There's plenty of food and pumpkins all over the place and everything. You're supposed to stop and say, God, we didn't create these pumpkins. You made them, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, so, but if you have none of that,
that's the upcycled version, at least.
Yeah. If you have none of that, then the Vedic religious rituals, the karma kunda, where you try to be a good person so that you get good karmic reactions back. That's a step up for you. But if you think,
Right.
oh, here's the goal of life, this is where I'm going to find my deepest happiness through doing these rituals and getting wealth and relishing beauty and wealth and fame and prestige and and if that's your strategy for finding satisfaction, the satisfaction of the soul, then you've totally miscalculated. You're meant to go beyond this, and that's the message that's being delivered right now to the king.
Mhm.
All right. Text 40.
Text 48.
6.
Okay.
I actually want to go ahead and do 45 again because two things are being mentioned here. There's karma. Here, karma meaning the idea that I will follow these religious rituals to enjoy the material world. And then there's also jnana, which means that no, this material world is a place of entanglement and suffering. Let me walk away from it. Let me renounce it. So Narada is going to say neither of those are the synthesis that the spiritual literature is directing us towards, right? So text 45 mentions jnana. Why don't you hit that one?
Despite the cultivation of Vedic knowledge,
There you go.
which is unlimited, and the worship of different demigods by the symptoms of Vedic mantras, demigod worship does not help one to understand the supreme, powerful personality of Godhead.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's where you're meant to be going.
Yeah. Now, when a person fully engaged in bhakti or devotional service, when a person is fully engaged in devotional service, he is favored by the Lord, who bestows his causeless mercy. At such time, the awakened devotee gives up all material activities and ritualistic performances mentioned in the Vedas.
Okay, so this, you hear this term is here, Atma Bhavitaha. It's this awakened soul, that you're actually beginning to, you're waking up from this confusion of my happiness lies through external things, or even my happiness lies through escaping the sufferings of this world.
Mhm. Those who are less intelligent accept the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies as all in all. Like, that's it. We did it. And we get lost, right? Get lost in the rituals of it.
Hold
They
it.
do
Did
not-
you skip one?
Yes, I did.
Text
Yes, I did.
47.
We're not just jumping. We're not doing every other one.
We could if you want. I mean, it's
So
all
go rock
nectar.
faster. We'll finish this thing half
half the time.
My dear King Barhisman, you should never out of ignorance take to the Vedic rituals or to fruitive activity, which may be pleasing to hear about, or which may appear to be the goal of self-interest. You should never take to these to be the ultimate goal of life.
There you go. In other words, again, let's
this must be so eye-opening for a lot of Hindus, especially in
but
America.
they
We're like,
probably don't catch it,
a fire yagya. That is cool. When we see Vedic rituals, are like, oh, pretty cool, pretty interesting. But it is so wrapped up within what we know as Hinduism.
Yeah.
That when they hear statements like this, it's like it must be like, oh, whoa.
Well, hopefully, right?
Agni Hotras our whole life. We've been worshiping demigods for generations. Our family's been worshiping Agni for generations.
And now this sage Narada floats down in playing his stringed instrument, the veena, right? He's obviously like this enlightened being that can just like transport himself wherever he wants to go. And he floats on in there and he begins to say, no, there's something more, and that's what's happening in Bhagavatam. This is the whole theme of Bhagavatam, is it's saying like that there's this whole smorgasbord of Vedic.
That's a great word, isn't it? A whole smorgasbord. It's like we're going to take one word from Sweden, and that's the word we're going to go with, smorgasbord. All of Sweden, we know no other words from Sweden, but we do know smorgasbord.
Okay, so we got a whole smorgasbord.
Search the origins of smorgasbord, Mara.
It's all right.
You seem so uninterested today. Did you see her? She just flipped her hand up like, sure, whatever.
You want to go
Well, you're
there.
not going to come back to it.
No, we will come back.
Okay, because we
Keep
didn't
on
come back to
moving.
the 6 Indian dances. What are the 6 Indian dances, Mara?
Well, there's actually more than
you
six.
gotta butt in. You gotta be more forceful. You gotta step into your life. You got to be on the field, not in the stands, Barrack. Come on. You want me to be your life coach?
There's more Indian dances.
There are more,
There's
but I think
more
there's
than
6
6?
important classical ones, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, there's 6. It's like there are 6 classical ones, and then other people say there are 10 or 15 ones. But the 6 are Bharatanatyam, Kathakali, Kathak, Manipuri, Kuchipudi, and Odissi.
Kuchipudi. Kuchipudi.
The Kuchipudi is my favorite. You're into Bharatanatyam, yeah. Everybody's into that. I'm into Kuchipudi.
What happened to Mohini Uttam? Isn't that up there?
Well, that's included in the list of 10. I
Yeah, you
believe.
see.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mohini Uttam doesn't even make it into the top 6. Raghunath.
Okay. All right.
And that Kathakali, that's the one they do down in Kerala where they put on all the makeup.
Oh, that one's a little scary for me.
It is unusual. You got to really understand it, I think, for it to work,
Imagine if you're like a colonist from England, like what the hell is going on here? They just must all see to like a white British person, and it must be like, this is a bunch of voodoo.
It's dancing, but it's not. It seems like it's not so much like, it's more about like emotions, like facial emotions, and like,
Well, the eyes are different mudras. There's they have to learn all the eye gestures.
Yeah, they're communicating a lot of stuff just with the face.
Mm. Okay.
Smorgasbord comes from the words. It means butter and goose.
Butter and goose.
Yeah,
Butter
from
and
the
goose.
S'more is butter, and the gus is from goose.
Smorgasbord.
A reference to pieces of butter which float to the surface of milk when churned.
What does that got to do with the smorgasbord that we've taken and we've taken their word and we don't even use it for what it is?
What's the definition?
It's supposed to be like a variety of different offerings, like different sandwich offerings, is where it comes from.
So how did the two get connected though? We don't get that.
I'll work
on that. No, well,
Back to work.
You don't have to do that. It's a whole long history. We're not holding you responsible for that.
I am. What do we pay her this top salary for? Okay,
now we're bringing it back, Raghunath. So there's a smorgasbord of teachings, of yogic teachings, even coming from the one great sage Vyasa. There's a verse, Raghunath. I really should learn it, or it's kind of like just like a tight little aphorism. But basically, what it says is that all the sages are indebted to Vyasa.
Yeah.
Right. Like, in other words, any of the teachings coming from the yoga culture, from the Vedic culture, Hinduism, even if you. Let's go ahead and say all Eastern philosophy, because if it's Buddhistic too, it's all drawing from his writings. It's all drawn
from Vyasa. And the interesting thing was, it was there. It's not like he created it. He just decided, we're going to write this down. We're going to codify this.
Yeah, and edit it and categorize it and so on. Yeah.
And gave it to different disciples to spread. So there's teachings. Well, there's still silent teachings that people just give word of mouth. But
then it's not silent. I mean, silent. Quiet teachings, maybe.
There's ones that aren't written down that people just teach.
Oral tradition.
Oral traditions, yes. So, but Vyasa, he codified it. He wrote it down. He gave it to disciples. He spread it out. But he is the source. He's the epicenter. He's the
right. Okay, so just from his writing, and Bhagavatam is just all about clarifying his right, like categorizing, understanding in context what he's communicating, because in different places it seems like he's emphasizing different things, and he is, right?
Sure.
So,
well, yes. Of course, because a parent would emphasize different things to different children according to their own proclivities,
or their age, or their.
And the idea is that everybody's just going through this very short life, and they need some way to lift themselves higher,
move forward. Yeah. So as we're saying, if someone is just like they're selfish. They're ignorant. They have no gratitude. Then following the religious rituals that are in the Vedas, where you say, "Oh, the rain came because God sent it," right? My food is coming to me because God is providing it. I can't create this stuff. Someone stop, slow down, think about this, and then show a little gratitude. That's going to lift a person up. That's going to take you step forward.
Let me challenge you, sir.
All right.
Suppose someone says, "Okay, I understand what you just said, but don't you understand that you are like that?" Like a parent has like 10 good kids, but one of them will not listen. So the parent gives some concessions for that kid. Okay, you can stay out late, but only on the weekends.
Yeah.
you know, what if the Bhakti thing is chanting the holy name? What if that's the concession? You guys are so damn broken. You're so dumb. You're so dirty. You're such a wreck. You've had so much trauma in your life. You can barely wake up early. You never take showers when you wake up. You guys are such a mess. You've eaten meat. You've been intoxicant. You're addicts, etc. You just chant.
Yeah.
But the secret is in your next life, you'll become a Hindu.
So,
you know what I mean?
So that's your challenge.
That's my challenge. My challenge is, what if we are the broken ones and we're just we are that crazy kid and they've just given us something to help us evolve a little.
Okay, so here's my answer to that challenge. Well, you know what, Raghunath? Who am I to say? Let's go to the author, the person that wrote them all, and see what he says.
He's just saying that to appease you. Oh yeah, you're
no, he's saying it to everyone, and he writes this whole long book about it, and he says that my guru told me that I need to explain this. That's what's happening in Bhagavatam. Narada comes to Vyasa after he's written all this stuff. Vyasa's still feeling some sense of discontent. He can't quite put his finger on it. Why am I not feeling good when I've done all this service and done all, for humanity? I've lived in this pure life. Why am I not feeling 100% good about this? And his
know what? I've answered the question in my mind already. Even if it is, like, okay,
I'm answering the question.
No, but I'm just saying.
No, but not even
I
if
could
it
challenge
is.
it. I could keep challenging it. Yeah, because he told you that just to appease you.
No.
Well, but here's the deal. Anyway.
That does not effectively challenge it, Raghunath. Not at all. Not even close.
Why?
Because within the larger texts, we see that the Bhagavatam was presented specifically to explain this issue to everyone, right? It's very clear.
Everyone's not so evolved.
No, but the point, you're totally missing my point.
Okay.
Is there a key to this? Within this, is there any key given to us so that we can understand what direction this is going? And we see that Narada comes, he tells Vyasadeva, people are like, they're clueless here. They need a key. They need help to figure this out. You haven't been clear enough. You haven't directly glorified Krishna thoroughly enough. You need to go and set this straight. That's what happened. And so then he goes and he revises the Srimad Bhagavatam. Where does it start? It starts with a bunch of sages with exactly this problem, right? We're reading Vyasadev's books and we don't know what's most important. They turn to Sutta Goswami. They say, you're more deeply realized than us. You're more learned than us. You please.
We're already liberated. We're experiencing, Brahman realization.
Well, they weren't saying that they were, but they were saying that you're more advanced than us. You explain this to us. And he said, okay, you're wondering what leads to the highest happiness in life. What's the ultimate goal of all this? It's bhakti. And then they challenged, well, what about knowledge and renunciation? What about the Jnana path? He says knowledge and renunciation comes automatically when you're practicing bhakti. It's like a side effect. It's not even the goal. Then they say, well, what about karma? What about performing your duties in life and reaping the good results? Doing the duties in life, if they don't bring about a sense of bhakti, a sense of eagerness to hear about Krishna's pastimes, then they are also considered to be not at all important. So you're asking me, how do we know? I'm telling you, because the author came forward and he specifically, to answer your question, he did it, and he did it extremely thoroughly by providing 18,000 verses wherein again and again and again he shows the superiority of bhakti over the paths of karma and jnana. And when I say that, it sounds like it can sound sectarian, but the point is, it's just like if I were to say to you that spirituality is superior to religion, most people would be like, yeah, right on. That's all it's saying. That's all it's saying, is that,
I get it.
Okay, so there's my answer for you.
I think it's good to be play the devil's advocate, and
but no, now share what you're going to share. I think you're going to share, like, even if I don't get all that.
Yeah, even if it is for lesser intelligent people like myself and uncultured and whatever. Hey, it's evolving my consciousness for sure. I mean, if I really challenge what you just said, hey, I know when I practice this, it changes my choices, it changes my habits, it changes there's so much truth here also, that it's at the very least, it's a very good thing for me in my life.
Okay, Roga.
Mary, are you following this little debate?
I am.
You tuned in? What do you think? You think
I'm staying neutral, probably.
I'm not asking you to pick a side.
I don't think we're on two separate sides. I don't think that what we just said to each other is
No, I don't think so either.
Okay.
I don't think so either.
All right. Great. All right.
By the end of the show, Mary, you got to pick the dance you want to do. So you should be Googling through YouTube videos of each one of those classical dances.
What was that one again? Kuchikudi?
Kuchikuli. Kuchikuli.
Kuchipudi from Andhra Pradesh.
It's
From
from
Andhra
Andhra
Pradesh.
Pradesh. Interesting.
Hmm.
I wonder if
Kuchipudi.
there's a Lord Chaitanya dance.
Well, he
Is there a Bengali one?
Well, there's Odissi.
That's from Odisha.
I know, but it was all it was all like Gaudadesh,
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Look,
Oh, Krishna.
but that's the dance they were doing in the Jagannath Temple. Devi Dasis are doing when he was there, So certainly he was in that atmosphere, in that realm. But he was a great dancer himself, was he not?
Lord Chaitanya was a great dancer. He must have a dance teacher.
I don't
That's
know.
what I'm
He
saying.
doesn't
I
need
missed
one.
out on essential things of life, like how to dance. Every man should know how to dance, and I don't know
They
how to
should
do
know how
it.
to dance. They should know
Yeah.
music.
Maturananda, he should learn how to dance. Tom Essig, he should know how to dance. Chief Pags, he should know how to dance. All our Zoomers out there, we should all know how to dance.
Let's put it together, Roga. Why don't we get it? Why don't we get it on
Let's
for the
start a
Patreon?
man's dance
Get it on
class.
Patreon.
All right.
Can we read
All
another
right.
verse?
Let's continue.
All right.
Text 48. Those who are less.
Intelligent.
I just read that. Those who are less intelligent accept the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies as all in all. They do not know that.
He's saying Bhakti is superior to the Karma Kunda section of the Vedas.
I got you.
Yeah.
They do not know that the purpose of the Vedas is to understand one's own home,
Mhm.
where the Supreme Personality of Godhead lives.
This is not your home. This material world is not
Yeah.
your home. You're trying to set it all up like it's your home. It's not.
This is my home. Look what I purchased for my home. A
No.
welcome mat.
Go out on Black Friday and get yourself a fancy welcome mat. It's not going to give you Atma Supersidity.
That's not your home. We're going to get evicted from our homes. Not
right.
being interested in their real home, they are illusioned and
Mhm.
search after other homes.
He's saying, King, you're all into this. You're trying to create a home in this realm, which is not your home. You're wondering why you're suffering? Here you go.
My dear king, the entire world is covered with sharp points of kusha grass. And on the strength of this, you have become proud because you have killed various types of animals in sacrifice.
Mhm.
What a
This is your
weird
problem.
thing, the animal
I
sacrifice.
know.
Because of your foolishness, you do not know that devotional service is the only way one can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
There
You
go.
cannot understand this fact. Your only activities should be those that can please the personality of Godhead. Our education should be such that we can become elevated in Krishna consciousness. Imagine if a guru came to the West, lived on the Lower East Side, and taught the art of animal sacrifice. Thank God that didn't happen.
Right. He taught
Especially if
Bhakti.
we were-
He taught
if we-
Kirtan.
Taught kirtan and bhakti and cooking chapatis and worshiping a deity.
Yeah.
Okay. Text 50.
I think maybe we could slow it down here because this will be text 50 and 51. We should talk about these two in depth. Now he's gonna give the positive alternative. Right? He's gonna say,
Alright.
find God within your heart. You're trying to make this external world your home. Go within and with love find God within your heart. That's the method that's gonna grant you real satisfaction.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't see you anymore, but I can hear you.
I know something happened.
It's okay.
Something happened. Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of
No,
Godhead.
we just said we're not going to. Were you listening to anything that I
No,
said?
I wasn't. I was trying to get my camera back on. What'd you say?
I said let's hold that for the next show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these next. Yeah, maybe I
Gotcha.
wasn't clear enough.
No, it wasn't. I turned you off.
Oh,
turned the
the
Kastuba.
truth comes out.
Well, I was focusing on my camera. I still can't see my face.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
So
make
Mara,
facial gestures.
besides defining smorgasbord and elucidating us on the various forms of Indian classical dance,
And the origins of Black Friday as well.
as well as the origins of Black Friday,
I put her to work today.
Do you have any takeaways?
I do have some other takeaways.
Any good ones?
Great ones.
Okay.
Counter the algorithms through personal contact.
That's right.
Keep the experience fresh.
Keep the experience fresh. What were we talking about? Keep the experience fresh. What was that?
Fresh.
Like
Saying
your-
that if the whole world collapses, you need to be
Oh,
fresh in your experience with Bhakti.
okay.
and you should write down your dreams and things like that. Your Krishna miracles.
Yeah. Keep a dream catcher above your bed. That helps as well, I find.
Yogi Charu, and part of his, I took a meditation training with him, and part of it was
You didn't even listen to my dream catcher thing, did you?
I just
Okay,
heard it right now. I was responding to it directly with something about dreams. That's the difference between you and me, Raghunath. I'm actually listening. Okay. All right.
Okay, continue on.
When you're alone, you're closest to Krishna.
Oh, so true.
Yeah. Can be.
Well, you were going to say something about Yogi Charu's dreams.
Yeah, I do want to
saying
hear
that
about yoga.
in his
too.
meditation training, part of it was like 1 week you had to write down your dreams as soon as you wake up.
You know what? I'm going to do that because I had set really good dream last night about the Ganges.
That was
Again?
2 nights ago.
No, it was, was it 2 nights? No, it was
Yeah.
last night.
No,
it
was
the
2
night
nights
before-
ago.
Yeah, 2 nights ago. Last night I had dreams about apocalyptic. Cher was in the dream too. Cher was at me, Cher, Joe Rogan. That was like the dream.
Was Cher
And we were-
causing the apocalypse or fighting
No, we were
against the
trying to
apocalypse?
escape
Surviving.
a building. It was a whole. It was an
Okay.
entire thing.
She's a survivor.
She is. She's good.
Okay.
All right. We should get Cher on the show.
Yeah.
I've got connections.
All right.
Open
Her
up
son
the
is like a devotee, right?
Your son's
Mm.
favorable.
Shelter
favorite.
fan, right? Is he a
Shelter
shelter
fan.
fan?
Man. Yeah. Elijah Blue. That was who's she married to? Not Sonny Bono. David or Palmer. Oh, the brothers. What are they called?
The Palmer brothers? I don't know what you're talking about.
Not Emerson, Lake and Palmer. All right. The Allman brothers. Thank you.
Oh,
they-
she was married to Greg Almond.
Greg Allman. Yes. And that's my friend
Oh,
was the son of
his
Greg
son.
Allman.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Palmer brothers.
The Palmer. That's a golfer. She's married to a famous golfer. 2 golfers. They were brothers. Okay,
I
go
don't
ahead.
think there were Palmer brothers. I think there's just one Palmer.
Okay, just go on.
Yeah, please. Mara.
All right. Dance unabashedly.
Yes.
Dance unabashedly with other
But-
men that don't drink,
But nicely.
but nicely, but unabashedly, as if no one's watching.
Delicately.
Okay.
Dance as if
Bhakti.
no one's watching, Mara.
Okay. Bhakti evolves your consciousness.
One day, Mara's just gonna
Hopefully. Okay, next one, Mara.
Don't get stuck in Scranton.
I feel like
You'll be
we're stuck in
inside
Scranton
of
right now.
Scranton with the Memphis Blues again.
This world is not your home.
It's not.
And
That
And
was so depressing, that statement. Okay, yes, it's
and
not.
a fancy welcome mat will not give you Atma supercidity.
no way.
Ooh.
This ain't your home.
Ooh, I like that.
Whew.
Fancy. Okay, it's another day of pure devotional service here at Alachua, land of Bhakti,
Okay.
and gators. There's gators here. Gators
In
are like,
Alachua.
they're like dinosaurs. If you're, it's one thing you never have to think about living in New York. You never have to think, is there a gator in that pond? But it's something that you have to
They
think
have,
of all the time here.
Well, you
You
have
can't just like
s-
jump in ponds around
big
here.
turtles.
Like we do Turtles don't go
Big
after you.
snapper turtles.
They don't go after you. Hey,
Oh.
Kostuba, can you interview somebody for? Wait, no, tomorrow's.
Tomorrow's Saturday. it's
Tomorrow's
Q&A.
a Q&A.
I think you should do an interview day tomorrow.
I
on
got Eddie's-
Sunday, on Sunday.
I got Eddie Stern lined up for the following Sunday.
We need somebody for tomorrow because
Not
can't
tomorrow,
do it.
Sunday.
Sunday because I'm driving and then I'm going to be exhausted. I can't do Monday, so we can.
I'll
only
see what I can do.
see what you can do. Work your magic. You're popular. People like
But I
you.
think you should do Monday, Raghunath.
I'll get Cher. You get Eddie Stern.
I got Eddie Stern.
I got Cher.
No, you don't.
You don't know. I text her all the time.
Right
Cher's-
here.
I wonder if she'd remember me. Remember me? I was your raw food chef.
Who?
Cher.
No, I'm saying she would say who? What?
Oh, she'd say, who? You know, Raghunath.
What time they're asking? Tomorrow's at 8:00, right?
Yep.
What a career, huh? Cher?
Cher?
What a career.
I suppose relatively.
Every phase of her life.
What about it?
was
She's had
famous.
hits.
She's had hits every age of her life.
Not hit.
I guess Madonna's up there too. But Madonna never had her own variety show.
Well, Cher started 20 years before Madonna.
Yeah, and Cher's not pumping out. I mean, Madonna's not pumping out the hits now, is she?
Madonna?
No.
I think occasionally she does.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Cher had a variety show and she's pumping out hits in her 60s and her 20s. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, she is sort of like... She's good.
Okay.
Good. I wonder if it's a real name. People changed their names a lot back then.
Mara?
I don't think it's a real name.
You don't think it's a real name? Search that one, Mara. I went on her Instagram the other day because I
Maybe
was
Sherry
curious and I was blown away. She
Farrell.
looks like she's in her 20s. That's what Sherry Yannick. Yeah, she does. You know what? She's a performer. She was allowed to get plastic surgery.
Wait, are we
So
talking
am
about
I.
Madonna or Cher?
Cher. That's Sherry Yannick said that. Oh,
Okay.
Madonna. No,
She was
she said
born
Madonna.
Sherilyn.
There you go. Sherilyn.
Pretty close.
Yeah, that's
Sherilyn
pretty good.
Sarkisian.
I remember when I got a check from Cher. She just signed it. Cher. I should have
She's a
saved
one-name
that.
person.
I am too. Raghunath, Cher, Madonna.
You go by
Stalin.
Raghunath Capo.
I go by Raghunath, but people throw in Capo, I think.
All right.
I'm okay with just Raghunath, period. Now, you are too, Kostuba.
Das. Raghunath.
Mara.
Always Das.
Mara just goes by Mara. No one calls you Mara Simons Jones. I don't even. I still get Simons wrong after so many years. I'm like Mara Simonim Jones. I went to a Thanksgiving at Mara's family's house before I left.
And?
It was civil. It was very I can say it was actually not dysfunctional. It was everybody. It was polite.
Boring? What are you trying to say?
No. I'm just thinking because I'm joking about like.
Was that where you got the
triggering
lemon meringue pie?
Thanksgiving dinners, but it was pleasant. She comes from a family of pleasant people.
I still haven't met Papa Tony in person. How is this
Oh,
possible?
Papa Tony would love to meet you, Kostuba.
We got to make
Yeah.
that happen.
He's incredibly
we do.
pleasant. Hey, he's very